Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Yeah, it's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. We haven't done nearly as many of those as we used to do because, personally, I don't give a crap what Disney does anymore.
It's sad. Like, we used to be like, you have no idea. But apparently, a new report has saying that sources have indicated we're going to find out who the new CEO of Disney is going to be next week.
Next week. So mark it on your calendars, and the all the indicators seem to be pointing toward a joint co-CEO.
Well, that or
situation.
tomorrow. I think it's more tomorrow. The only way I think Walden will get it is if it's a joint CEO. That's the only way she'll get it, because everybody I'm seeing thinks it's going to be Walden, tomorrow.
I think that Josh tomorrow actually has the Disney, like the vibe, the culture. They tend to hire people that have been with the company for a long time. She has not been with the company for a long time, so she doesn't have the Disney.
We're going to talk about that
upbringing.
I have stuff to say about some of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I mean, it's better than what they were talking about before. They were going to bring in like the CEO of like sports. That what was it? Those ones.
They talked about ESPN, and other ones, but everybody's known for a while. It's pretty much down to these two. I was joking earlier. I hope they announce it on Monday, which is Groundhog Day. And I was like, so we have a choice. It could be either six more years of winter, or we can have an early spring. You know, it depends on if they pick Walden or tomorrow. But yeah, this is coming from the New York Times. Yeah, they're the ones that are talking about. They're just acting like he already has it. They're like, can he break the succession curse? They're saying we're supposed to hear about it by next week, but everybody's talking as if it's tomorrow.
Okay, so my thought on this, being a Disney watcher, former professional Disney watcher, is Josh tomorrow is the absolute best case scenario for the company. He has the Disney, I can't really put your finger on, but he's got the Disney vibe. He's got the energy. He feels to me like, we could have another Eisner type situation, except Eisner was even more corporate, I think, than DeMauro is. Now, the problem is DeMauro's not super corporate. He does have a bit of a dreamer streak in him. And, I have to wonder if they would rein him in.
He has everything except the movie and Hollywood experience, which we're going to talk about. He has everything but that, and that's brought up in this article, which we'll get to.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
If you'd like to support us, go out to more.clownsfishtv.com. That's more.clownsfishtv.com. We don't do super chats over here. If you want to support us, go over there. We got some bonus content. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so if I cared more about Disney these days, I would actually be excited at the prospect of Josh tomorrow taking over. Given the alternatives, he's definitely the best pick, I think.
I agree. DeMauro, he's the one you'll see like walking around the parks. Like they see Iger in the parks and people be all excited, and you see DeMauro in the parks. You never see Dana Walden in the parks because that's not her department. She's not even in charge of her department. DeMauro's the chairman of Disney, parks experiences. He's in charge of three of the four main pillars of the company. Yep. He has the merchandise and the video games. He has Disney Cruise Lines, and he has the theme parks. And Disney Cruise Lines and video games and merchandising is where their big growth parts are at right now, and the parks too, to extent. But he's in charge of three of the most important parts of Disney. She is a co-chair of Disney Entertainment, and she only oversees like the TV and streaming aspect of that, where Alan Bergman has the film. And I want to point out, we're going to talk about this later, but back when Iger left, and Chapek came in. And then there was the whole drama we talked about in other videos about how Iger apparently behind the scenes was doing some underhanded crap. Yeah. One of the people that were instrumental in getting him back as a CEO was Dana Walden, who apparently lives by him and will go for walks with him. And interestingly enough, he came back at the end of 2022, and she gets bumped up to co-chair of entertainment early in 2023. I mean, it's so weird how that worked.
Yeah, gosh, must be a coincidence. I'm sure.
He's got 27 years of the company. She just came in with Fox, and she was in management roles at Fox, but she wasn't like a CEO. or anything like that over there. She just came in and somehow, because she's buddies with Iger, gets bumped up, up here. I don't think she's qualified. But they talk about this and they go down here and they talk about the one thing that he might have in problems with him is the fact he doesn't have the Hollywood people call him the theme park guy. Now, Hollywood, pull your collective heads out of your asses for like a minute. Literally, he runs all the profitable elements of the company. The streaming just now becoming profitable, but the theatrical, you guys keep losing money and all this stuff. And that's not even her. That's Ellen Bergman. She does streaming and that stuff. She doesn't even run ESPN. She just does like the streaming stuff. Okay, that's what she does. And she has a small part, but because she's in like film like with Hollywood, they call him the theme park guy. And since Iger is Mr. Hollywood himself, they're worried that he doesn't have the in with them because they just dismiss him as the theme park guy as opposed to her.
Okay, so here, let me educate you. Walt Disney was just the cartoonist. He was just and he was an outsider. He was a Hollywood outsider. They used to humor him, but he never fit in really with Hollywood. I mean, he tried to, but it just was one of those things where they just kind of viewed him as being a lesser than, even though he had tremendous power toward the end of his career. They just viewed him as just being some doofy cartoonist. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
DeMauro started out as an artist too. He was he was a sculpting major. He was an artist, and then he went into marketing, and then he ended up at Disney. But he's been there 27 years. He was behind robotics in the Star Wars droids and the AI technology for the Spider-Man robot with the one that did the stunts. They said Jon Favreau put the robots into the Star Wars movie because he liked them. He's the one that was behind, AI systems. He's the one that was like wanted to do the Epic Games tie-in and all that. That was DeMauro. So a lot of things that they're banking on for the future is coming from him. Meanwhile, she's in charge of streaming, and she's the one who was talking about how they passed on shows that were really good shows because they were too white.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want more controversy, you keep her in. Now, to be fair, though, she actually did go to bat for the company, and when they were trying to say, Trump pressured them to pull Jimmy Kimmel off the air, she's like, no, actually, and
yeah, she did.
We never had that. We never had that conversation with them.
That's true, but she's also trying to damage control. But,
because it turned out she was friends with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and she was behind that whole debacle and all that. So they said that, he manages a lot more employees and stuff, and they're talking about how he's very similar to Iger, but they're also talking about what happened when, the Iger Chapek situation. And they're basically saying that DeMauro could be good as long as they don't have Iger in there pulling the same shit he pulled last time. And the board's going to need to make sure that Iger is not in there doing what he did last time to Chapek. I don't like everything Chapek did. Chapek was also in charge of entertainment and Disney parks and all that. They brought him in, and I don't think he was necessarily the best choice. I've never thought he was. That being said, he wasn't even allowed to make his own decisions because Iger kept pulling strings behind the scenes and doing a bunch of shitty things, at least according to reports, which we talked about in other videos from last year, the year before. So they're talking about that. They're saying he's very similar to Iger, other than the fact that he doesn't have the Hollywood background.
Yeah, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I get that.
Look how cute he is. He's like, he's so excited. Whatever's going on, he's super excited about it.
Yeah, no, he always seems excited. Like Josh DeMauro, and I don't think it's an act. I think he genuinely loves the company. I think he genuinely loves the characters. He does remind me a bit of Eisner, and I know everybody takes a shit on Eisner. Eisner, yeah, he was a corporate guy, but he genuinely loved Disney. He loved Walt's legacy. He respected Walt's legacy, and we haven't had that for a long time. And I think DeMauro is our best shot now. If
people love him too.
Yeah, they do.
Point out both. We're not talking just guests and cast members. They all just like really respect and love Josh DeMauro.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, I think having a figurehead like that at the helm of Disney would show that they're serious about going back to making Disney what it is supposed to be, which is an American family entertainment company.
Well, it sounds to me like Iger's taking credit for a lot of the ideas that are Josh DeMauro's too. Like, he's apparently behind a lot of these things that have moved the company forward. We know they're banking heavily on cruise ships. We know
I'm
they're
not
banking.
big on that.
I'm not either, but I'm saying it's apparently working for them. They're
Yeah.
banking heavily on, entertainment industry and other ways like video games, finding new ways to get the stuff out there and roll it into the AI and the, consciousness, the pop culture consciousness and things.
They're trying to bring Mickey to life with AI.
That's right. So he's alive. But you know what I'm saying? It's like he's behind all these innovations and stuff. And what does she do? She's co-chair of entertainment and works on live shows and streaming.
Yeah, well, she
ABC
came from
News and stuff like that.
Yeah, she came from Fox, right? I mean, she
came with the acquisition of Fox. She's only been there since 2019, and even before that at Fox, she had leadership roles, but she was never like majorly in charge. She just came here, and I'm trying to figure out why she's even up for anything other than the fact that she's a woman, and the fact that she's helped Iger come back and is buddies with him.
I think the latter has.
That's the only reason I could think of, because
Yeah.
she got bumped up to be a co-chair of something, in charge of streaming and all that right after he came back when they restructured and all this other stuff. And then when he got mad, Iger got mad when people suggested tomorrow, because basically all the investment firms are thinking it's going to be tomorrow. Most of the leaks are saying it's good. This article here is just written about what are they going to do when tomorrow takes over. It's basically a done deal from the way everybody's talking. We don't know what's going to happen, but that's the way it sounds. If they're smart, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think that, again, I mean, I'm not trying to overstate. People are going to be like, well, Disney's a woke disaster that's never going to go back to. It's like, no, but I think he's probably the best shot we have to fix. I mean, if you seriously
find a
want
balance.
Yeah, if you want Disney to get quote unquote fixed, he is probably the best bet. Now, will he be allowed to? Or are people going to fight him on it? Who knows?
Well, I'm just like, we had Chapek in there, and we had all the Hollywood disasters because he wasn't big in Hollywood either.
Right.
And the thing is, but the parks and everything, the most of their money doesn't come from the box office. Now, the only way it would work at all with Walden is if they went the co-CEO route, which people have talked about. And honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And the fact that she knows the Hollywood stuff and she could run like theatrical Hollywood, all that. And all the entertainment stuff, and he could run what he's already running, and that would be he be in charge of. But I still prefer a Disney where she's not a CEO at all. But I could see why investors might like that idea, because it's kind of like that with Lucasfilm, where she knows business, he knows creative. And it could be a strong pairing if they work together. And they both have commented, well, at least I know she commented, that she didn't like the fact that they feel like they're being pitted against each other. Like, not just him, just across the board. Because she says, we all get along and we all we all do our own areas. And she said she really didn't like that they were kind of pitting her against, Josh D'Amaro and stuff. Because they get along really well, apparently. They all get along, the people that were up for CEO position. And they don't like being pitted against each other. We'll see what happens, though. Yeah.
Now, you don't hear anything about the guys from Candle Media, the two former Disney executives. They were supposedly, that was the talk for a while. They were going to bring them in, and they were talking. I know Iger was talking to Candle Media about doing stuff for Disney or with Disney, and that just like completely evaporated.
Well, my vote is for tomorrow.
I think, given the scare that they had with Nelson Peltz, I think they're going to pick somebody that they think can steer the company back in a more Disney direction, and it would be tomorrow.
I'm just saying, it's either going to be, the only way it's going to be her is if it's a co-CEO position, and if they make it her, they might as well kiss her stock goodbye, because the investors clearly they've made it abundantly clear they don't want it to be her. That's why I was going to bring up earlier, and I got sidetracked, was that Iger was mad because somebody he was having dinner with said about Josh D'Amaro being CEO. Well, it hasn't been decided. And he got really mad because, she's his, apparently his friend.
Yeah.
But, he's who everybody wants. They put her in, people are not going to be happy. Investors are not going to be happy. I can tell you that. It's only going to work if they both are CEO together or just him.
Yeah. I think the public has already decided they've nominated Josh D'Amaro.
The investing companies have already decided they wanted Josh D'Amaro. This article is basically like, can he break the succession curse? They're actually talking as if he's already got it. They mentioned her a couple times, but it's mostly about him, and they're going to announce the CEO, and it's probably going to be him. That's what everybody's thinking. So if they put Dana Walden in by herself, oh my gosh, just kiss your stock goodbye.
They know that. It's either going to be him
or both.
Him or both of them, but he's definitely going to be involved because they can't afford to lose him. I mean, Because he could, you know, if they piss him off, I mean, he could be like, well, fine, I'm going to Universal.
Well, that's just it. The other people, like the people that were the Candle Media, they left because, which was it, Stags or
they both did.
Yeah, but who was the one that when Chapek got made chairman of the parks, the one left, and then then the other one left when they named Chapek as a CEO because he's like, I'm not going to be CEO, so I'm leaving.
Yeah, Stags was, everybody thought he was going to be the next one in line, and they bolted. So yeah, they can't afford, because they've lost so much at Disney, and this is why Disney is kind of in the state that it's in, is that they have lost a lot of institutional knowledge. They've lost a lot of the culture, the company culture. It used to be that, you know, Disney, it was kind of like in your DNA. I mean, I know it sounds like really sappy and really, you know, but they do tend to hire from within, and they do tend to train their people in the Disney way. And a lot of them start out very young. Some of them start out as cast members in the theme parks and eventually wind up, you know, in creative positions or whatever. But
well, he was like, you just saw he's like, you know, Iger sitting here like, oh, he looks like an amused grandpa. But this is what you want. This is what you want in charge. When you're talking about Disney and the magic of Disney, you want this face. You know what I mean? Look how excited he is. He's like, oh my God, you know, that's what you want. You want this. Now, after a few years, he might look more like this, but for now, you know.
No, Iger's always been like that. Iger was, he's
a weatherman. So.
He's a weatherman. He was a bit, you know, he's more a numbers guy. Chapek was a numbers guy.
He's not even a numbers guy. He's just say, I want Hollywood to kiss my ass. And, you know, he was, his biggest concern was he wouldn't get the best tables at restaurants anymore if he wasn't CEO. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. That's what people inside were saying he was worried about. Yeah. So I don't know. But there it is. Next week, supposedly, that's the rumor. They said February probably, so that would track. I just think it'd be funny if it would be on Groundhog Day.
That would be. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe there's hope. I think tomorrow, like I said, is the last best shot they have to try to fix things. But will the public go for it, right? Like,
the public's going to go for it if it's him. They're not going to go for it if it's her.
Right. So, but really, you know, the proof's in the pudding, right? So it's going to be like whatever content they produce on his watch, but then realize a lot of the stuff that's coming out even now is stuff that was, you know, greenlit under like Chapek.
A lot of Chapek got blamed for. It was like, that was Iger.
That was Iger.
You know, and if you look back at when they were greenlit and when he made his own mistakes. I'm not going to say he didn't. He made a lot of bad choices too. But a lot of the stuff he got blamed from initially, that wasn't him. That was Iger. So are we going to wrap this up?
Well, let's wrap it up. All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.